we have a couple of new folks. I'm not sure. People are joining. So awesome. All right. I think I see Alice from CCC Solution and Ilaria, we have met before, but I think she's here for the FOSM update. And who else? I think that's the new names that I'm seeing. Otherwise, welcome everybody. Thank you. We can get started. Welcome to the CCC Outreach Committee meeting. And this, no worries right now. That's okay. So we are to, I think, like second to last meeting of this year, and we are so excited that everyone joined today. We have one more meeting coming up in December. It's December, I think, 11th. We'll skip the next meeting during the Thanksgiving week in the US, but here is the antitrust policy. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to reference this and ask questions to the Linux Foundation PMs, and Renu is on today. Next slide. Today, so we are going to, everyone must have gotten the email. So we have our new chair and vice chair for the 2025. So here to celebrate. I'll go over the CC Summit Program Committee and what it's about. We are going to do the brand positioning messaging guide live approval from this group, and other remaining projects in 2024 that I kind of started. And we'll go over event, and lastly, call for newsletter content for the year end. Okay. All right. Renu, I think this is yours. Do we need to approve the minutes?
Yeah, so Kate, we will directly move on to the approval of the outreach minutes. Is this something which is okay with you, this view, or would you like me to have the full one as we were earlier?
Our font's pretty big, and I think this is fine.
Okay. Yeah, so because about the outreach directory and welcome new attendees, this is something which is remaining intact. So I hand it over to you for the approval of the outreach meetings, or would you like me to take it over?
Yes, please.
Okay, so to the rest of the members, I would like to request, do you have any of the suggestions or any of the objections for the meeting minutes which happened on 30th of October, or is that okay?
No objections.
Thank you. So hereby I take that it is being approved and it has been published. Quickly moving on to the next slide about the Outreach Committee 2025 Chair and Vice Chair. Truly, and
Yay.
congratulating Rachel and Mike. Over to you, Kate.
Yeah, I'm super excited for you both, and I know you both have demonstrated, tremendous work through various different initiatives at Outreach. And Mike, you've been around for a long time, and you've been involved in many important and different milestones. But Rachel just jumped in this year, and I think she did an amazing job collaborating with Ab, co-leading the brand positioning messaging guide and everything. So I'm super excited for 2025 and all the new chair and vice chairs at the other committees, like the governing board and the tag, with our new outreach chair and vice chair. I'm super excited for the 2025. Do you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kate, and thank you so much, everyone. I really look forward to working together with the committee in 2025. It's going to be a really great year, and then appreciate everyone's support.
Now,
Happy to be.
yeah, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I'm happy to be the Robin to Rachel's Batman.
Congratulations both. I've been a few months here, and it's been really great to work with you, and very glad to have you both of you on leading us and driving us, and cracking the whip when needed, so that we make progress. So, congratulations.
Yes, yes. Yeah, a lot of work, and I will spend a good amount of time with Rachel and Mike as we onboard, along with Leo. So just to keep an eye out for that. Okay, on to the next slide.
If I may, also a big thank you to you, Kate, on behalf of the committee. Thank you for all you've been driving, and yeah, so big thank you for my part,
Thank
and
you.
I'm sure from all the committee.
Thank you, Ab. Thank you. All right. So CC Summit. So Confidential Computing Summit, as you all probably is very, very familiar, is typically happening in early June, and we do not have an exact date yet, but I think it's around early to mid June, and the location will be the same kind of a boundary. Last year or this year was Hilton, and I think last year was at Marriott, and I believe they are going back to the Marriott for the next year. And so where it's shaping in terms of the sponsorship, CCC probably won't be pursuing co-host position. There's a lot of the background, back and forth decision making happened here, but with our involvement, we negotiated actually to have 3 CCC rep to be included in the program committee. So what the expectation is, you will be going in there to review the content and all the CFP, like all the organic submissions that they got from the CFP submissions, as well as the keynote build up and any panel content build up and panelists and as well. So we decided, so Mike Purcell will represent governing board. We would like to send one from outreach and one from tag. And this person will probably be the liaison between, the CCC and the CC Summit as a program committee. So you can be any company, but you are going in there on behalf of CCC. So with the interest of a vendor neutrality, making sure that we contribute, and also we give our voice as the ecosystem partners to the program committee. So if this is something interests you, I would love to hear. If there is anybody here on this call right now, if you have a bandwidth and interested in being the outreach rep for the CC Summit program.
Kate, do you have any reading on when that activity will start, and what kind of time commitments it would be for the participant?
Right. So I don't have the full detail yet. They have not published the call for proposals yet. So what I'm assuming is if they announce it, and they'll probably finish it in the beginning of Q1. And once they finish, you will be asked to review all the content. And then I believe last year or last time, it was a lot of submission, like 100. So I don't know how they divide work either. So I will find out more, but I think in the Q1, you will be heavily involved. Ab?
Yeah, just a question. not about the interest of being on the go, but more about logistics. A couple of things. So, and I know I'm not expecting answers here, but more to raising like a little bit of quote unquote urgency to get closure. A couple of things, obviously, from as many companies as you know, like the budgeting is happening now, right? So for me to go internally and make sure whether it's time, whether it's funding, whether it's participation, obviously we want to be like I need to have those conversations now internally. So whenever we can get traction on this with Opaque and and obviously through the CCC, it will be really great to kind of making progress from that perspective. From my feedback from this year, and that was the first year AMD actively participated, and just giving a general comment, it was great conference. I encourage everybody to join. Don't get me wrong, really, really great. It's really honestly, it was amazing. Uh, and that's actually I think from a CCC perspective and the ecosystem, it's important obviously to be there more active. I wish we were more active, but we joined a little bit kind of late into the process. But I also, if I compare to other conferences, I think that feedback was shared, not to have like to bring that point again for no reason, but I just want to make sure that for me, it was a little bit too close for comfort, like the deadlines, whether it's the talks, but there were a lot of things that were really, and I think the conference is maturing. I know it's the second edition, but I think it will be important to, uh, you know, for Opaque and us together, I mean, in CCC to get the deadlines a little bit earlier, because as well, if you want to have good, you know, executives joining or even attending, not necessarily present, those as you know, like their schedules are really tight, like they're months in ahead, like in advance. So I think that's something I want to raise, that it was too close, in my opinion, for this year. At least that's my personal again, opinion here. I'm not speaking on behalf of others.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that, and then it's already November as
Yeah,
well.
exactly. So
Um, mhm. Mike?
Well, I just want to, by the way, totally agree with everything Ab said. I'm wondering though, as the outreach committee, what is our responsibility in this interaction with Opaque?
Mhm.
Do we, because we're not a sponsor, but do we? I mean, we are. Oh, I thought you said that we weren't. Okay, never mind.
We're not going to be the co-host, but we will
Uh,
be a sponsor.
okay, all right. So we do have a rooting interest and a financial interest in attendance and a smooth execution of the event. So I do think we can, I think, stick our noses into the business of making sure that the thing is run in a way that's, it's not short on deadlines, it has good attendance. But I also just think we need to, based on some of the issues that came up in the last round, I think our primary duty is going to be to, watching out on the vendor neutrality issue, making sure that everybody has a fair shot to, that doesn't mean everybody gets to participate, but everybody has a fair chance to participate.
Absolutely. So you asked about the outreach committee's responsibility. So I want you to look at this in kind of a two separate category. So we are a sponsor. As a sponsor, we have a responsibility and some benefits that we're getting, and we're collaborating with them to promote, and all this kind of stuff is separate. This is a program committee. So you are representing CCC and outreach perspective, but more focus on the content build up, just like what you just mentioned. Is this content leaning towards the vendor specific, or is this appropriate for the vendor neutral ecosystem content? Does it make sense?
Right. And I think there's going to be a balance between the two. It cannot
Right.
be, nobody would want to participate or sponsor if it was just purely, hey, we're here to advocate for the concept of confidential computing and not try and sell our wares.
Absolutely.
But so, but on the other hand, Opaque has been, the key sponsor of this for a while, an organizer, and even though others have offered to, help,
Yeah.
help organize and drive the thing. They hold on to it pretty tight, and we just have to make sure that everyone's getting a fair shake.
Absolutely. That's literally all I'm asking. I think just to be the eyes and ears on behalf of CCC, and because we do treat this event as the ecosystem event, and even though it is, whether or not it is run by the CCC or the OPAC or whoever, at this point all of us are here and going into this conference because we are really passionate about this and that we care about this topic. So yeah, just kind of go in there to make sure that you are the eyes and ears of the both end. So you're
Yep. All right.
volunteering, Mike?
I am.
Okay. Okay, great. Julian, so I have asked Dan for selecting someone from TAC. I don't know if you're part of TAC group, but definitely
Yeah, I can reach out, but I guess Dan requires a voting member. But that's fine. If there is help needed to just look at all the submissions and review, I can pitch in. But
and if not, I think but we can chat offline. I think
sure, yeah.
CCC side to watch and kind of monitor the CCC perspective, and that's the 3 people that we have negotiated. But it doesn't mean that any other member company can not join. So I can see that multiple people can still be joining the program committee as long as they allow.
Sounds
So
good. Thank
okay.
you.
Yeah, but I think I don't know if June, what you meant that same here, like whoever it might be, whether it's Mike or someone else. I mean, we are a team here, so if opinions are needed or thoughts or feedback or input, not on specific, obviously the committee will. We're not here to duplicate the making another committee like parallel committee, but if there's something that's more of a concern and there's a meeting, I think that's something that's fair to help whoever the person is going to be from the outreach to say, okay, this with, for example, if something is not aligned with all the messaging that we are preparing, what's the guide, all the work we've done on the brand repositioning, and it's kind of going a little bit on a tangent, like something kind of divergent from that. I think that's, for me, is a fair topic to bring back to the outreach committee to say, again, without being specific, obviously the committee have the rules and not disclosing anything, but like, hey, there's this issue or whatever that I think is going to be concerned, et cetera, et cetera. And I think we can help support the person, whoever it might be, representing the outreach committee. I just want to raise that as my suggestion here.
I agree with you, and I think as a program committee for a conference, you cannot say out loud what has been submitted and whatnot, right?
No, of course
so
not. Yeah.
General direction wise, Mike can bring in general direction, and if he sees any concerns, then he can bring it to the outreach committee and we can discuss. But we would like to have CCC interest party included in this program committee. That was the whole purpose.
Do we want to close today? Who's going to be? I'm okay, but I don't want to rush anything. But to just kind of reach a kind of decision on that. I will not have the bandwidth, so I will be supportive of whoever will be wants to represent outreach, or if you want to do it by emails, then we can send that. Yeah, so it's up to you guys.
Yeah, Mike has already volunteered, and I'm fine with that. And Mike, as a vice chair, you will have a lot of responsibility, and I think it makes sense because Rachel will be involved in a lot of the overall conversation with the sponsorship and how the marketing, promotion, and all of the other aspects. So although I wanted Rachel to be there, but I just didn't volunteer her for this. So I think Mike being in the program committee representing outreach makes sense. But if y'all want, we can open this up to the outreach email list in the minute and then see if there is any interest. And we'll close that. We'll close that by end of, actually, we have to close that by end of this week. I have to give it to them.
That's why I'm saying, yeah, I think that would be
Yeah.
great. I think it would be if we send in the minutes and people express interest, because we just want to keep open.
Yep. Okay.
I'm
got it.
supportive of Mike, just to be clear, but I don't want to. I'm a little bit
Yep.
influencing, but I know that Mike, with your experience, it'll be you representing the ecosystem very well. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Yep.
and it's fine. I mean, this, I understand that, in this capacity, you're wearing the ecosystem hat, not your company hat. So, there's probably, I'll probably let other folks worry about the Intel presence and stuff like that. I just, in my capacity as a CCC member or representative on that one, it's basically looking out for the interest of the community rather than interest of Intel.
Okay, great. So why don't we do that, Renew? We will include this in our minute if you can send it out today, so we can get the answer by, at least AM Friday Eastern time. Because I do need to give them the answer by end of the day, Friday. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. All right, Ab and Rachel.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks, Kate. So today we are seeking live approval of the CC messaging guide. And so since last time we met, we've incorporated all the feedback from both outreach and governing board meetings. And so any new feedback from now on will be added to backlog for future iterations and updates. And then if there are no objections today, and then we'll move forward to present this to the governing board next week for final approval. Looking at the next steps, and the next steps are, first of all, the working group will request governing board approval on November 20th if we get the approval from today's outreach meeting. And once the final copy is approved, Jen will lead the design team to finalize the creative design for the guide. And we're right now on track to complete the guide by December 1st. Thank you, everyone. And also kudos to Julian, who has been working on the final copy of the CC messaging guide in the past few weeks, addressing all the feedback we've collected from the committee members. And now I will hand it off to Julian to walk through the final copy.
I can quickly share. I think, Renu, if you would stop sharing, otherwise I may not be able to.
Okay.
Thank you. So I will go ahead and share. I'll just give a quick overview of the different comments. I think I've kind of listed all the comments here. Overall, there was, other than the grammatical kind of corrections and other things like that, there were some comments on maybe focusing a bit more on some federated scenarios. That is kind of one. I incorporated some of those comments into use case 2. There was also one comment on the using confidential computing, not just for AI inference or training, but for the whole AI pipeline. So kind of briefly mentioned that also on use case 1, but other than that, I guess most of the other comments we have incorporated fully. And we did receive a fair number of comments over the last couple of weeks. I think I kind of listed most things here. I don't have anything additional to add. I hope everyone had a chance to go through this. And if you have any specific questions, I can try to address it now. Otherwise, I think we are kind of good with the first draft.
Mike, you
Yeah,
have a
hey,
question?
so question for you guys. I haven't had the opportunity to go through the doc carefully, but do you think there is uh, a case that we should go through and make edits to the Wikipedia page based on this?
So I think we could definitely do that, but I would think that that is orthogonal to the messaging guide itself. But I guess if we are happy with the messaging guide, I think it's a great idea to update any wikis we have to either align or include more information.
Probably, I mean, it looks like you guys have beefed up the confidential AI angle. You may want to go add a use case in the Wikipedia page around generative AI.
Yeah, definitely do
I
that.
actually really like that idea.
Yeah.
Mike, who I know there was someone helping us with the Wikipedia for any
I
edits. So how do we go about it?
Well, that was his name was Jake. He's been out of the picture for a while. He committed the consultant sin, which is teaching your client to fish. And so, I can go ahead and make the edit. I do have to go through all these gymnastics about conflicts of interest and stuff like that. But it would no one's objecting, and around me doing these things, and I try and do it way out in the open in the talk page, say this is, I have a conflict of interest, I would like to make this change, let it sit for 2 weeks or so and see if anybody says anything, and if nobody does, I make the change.
I see. Okay. We
By the way, I would need anything that we write, will need to add citations for. So those are going to be non-vendor things, like either news articles, kind of neutral-ish, high quality papers, things like that support it. So anyway, I'm off topic here, but that would be I think I'll go ahead and take a closer look at this and think about making an edit to the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, I think that's a great new project to add on your plate. I am okay.
It'll provide a nice break from fighting with academics over in the Wikipedia talk page.
No, that's great. Great suggestion, Mike. Definitely, we'll see if you need anything. We'll happy to help as well. But you're right. The point about the neutral, high quality resources are definitely needed to meet the Wikipedia standards for posting.
Okay. So I just added that in the later page, we have other work that is remaining and onward. I'll just edit this into the line item so we can keep track and create a like small working group or so.
Yeah, Mike, can you point to which Wikipedia page the link I can say in the chat, maybe just for
Yep.
reference? If you
Sure.
don't mind. Thank you.
Okay, back to you, Julian.
Great. Yeah, that's all I have actually. So, yeah, so we have the content, like Rachel suggested. Any further feedback, we can keep making edits, but maybe after a first cut, so to speak.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
want to highlight something that was brought up in the governing board is like it's not this document or messaging guide will not just sit there and kind of taking dust for it. Just we will define what obviously with the working group and the committee, and we'll see how long the working group will be needed. It's not. I mean, we want to stay obviously in the outreach committee at one point, just making it as one of the kind of collaterals and material that we update. But the goal and the guidance from the governing board was to make sure that this is like to a certain extent a living document that will point to add other use cases as needed in the next in the next 6-9 months and next year pretty much.
Mhm.
And also for the use cases we have today to be listed today, in addition to adding use cases that will be obviously relevant, is data points, references if any of the CCC members has kind of success stories and things like that that can be added as well, just as proof points to why competition computing is so critical in all these use cases. I think it's important to keep that in mind, that we don't just leave it there sitting itself. So.
Absolutely. Yeah,
One
there
idea,
was.
one idea, one idea could also be towards what Abe said, to kind of create like a very rough template. We can almost like solicit use cases from members. If we just have a rough template, and that would be a great starting point.
Mhm. Yeah, we have, and the next piece, I think we're going to cover it, but we have new use cases for sure. And the case for confidential computing report that we just published this year was also intentional. So we will be probably looking for the 2.0 version, and we want to continuously update our use cases, but same for the messaging guide. I think as we get more use cases and then we have our more proof points to add into this messaging guide. So this first iteration will be published as white paper in the new year. And then we'll probably have some cadence, like once a year or twice a year, kind of a cadence to update like the 2.0 type of deal. But we can brainstorm on that. But really great job, team, on getting this far so quickly, making progress left and right, and very, very well managed. And thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And are there any other feedback, comments, any objections?
I've
Not from me.
reviewed it this morning. Yeah, I went through everything, and I think Julian, you incorporated some all of the comments, right? And it looks to me it's very crisp and good for our first iteration. So I'm good with the draft from my end.
On my end as well, is good to go.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, thank
Right.
you, Ab. Yeah, and then if there's no further objection now, we're bringing this to next week's governing board for final approval. Again, really appreciate everyone's contributions and feedback. And Julian, and nice work as well. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. We can move on to the next slide. All right, so some of the things that is in the works. So creative agency work is something that is kind of like a side project before this year end, because we do pay the creative agency fee and it's included. So that's why I'm doing more of the update at the end of the year. We did the same thing last year, but some of the ideas was the slight modification of the CCC Web Digital design to incorporate some more of like data security and privacy kind of a design into it, not to change the whole direction, but slight modification is what I'm looking for. And we are we're wanting to see what are the options if we can adapt any. CCC Masca, I still need to get to the questionnaire to find out if we do, if we can find anything that aligns with our value. And same for the logo, we brought up that, you know, our logo has the consortium is the big standout word rather than confidential computing. So we want to see if there is anything that can be done without drastically changing the design. So some of these will be in the works with the creative team. The IDC white paper, we've got the, I think I included in the last call, we've got the final kind of scoping areas, and this will be keep updated as we work together with IDC. But right now we're waiting on the budget approval. Once we do, we'll make the decision on the criteria, and then the work will begin. Ab?
Sorry, just clarification on the creative agency work. Is that for the like between now and the end of 2024, or is it or 2025? It's just not clear to me there. What is going to be in before the end of this year versus 2025? If you have the split already, but I don't know.
No, so we are going to put the order in by this year.
Okay, got
So
it. Okay.
not sure when it can be completed, but that's what I want to do before this year end.
Sorry, put in the order or the, let's say, new logo, new mascot and design. And it's more
That will
about
be
the
probably
deliverables.
available. Deliverable will be probably next year.
Got it. I just want to raise the opportunity to, or the comment about the opportunity to leverage and being ready by OC3 if possible. Again, I understand these things take time. You know, because these are the events people will have like, you know, visibility and obviously as well as the computational computing summit. So, but OC3 is coming very quick. Anyway,
Absolutely.
it's good leverage. So it's an opportunity to show it. It's like, hey, you know, if we have new visuals and so on, both for the mascot
Absolutely.
and the logo.
I love that idea actually, because the OC3 this year, they're going to be hybrid, and we do have a booth space on site. So some of us will be there, and it'll be really cool to showcase. Great idea. And then outreach budget and event roadmap, also depending on the budget approval. I did share my preliminary budget proposal and as well as the events, handpicked events that I kind of suggest in the last call. So feel free to reference. I think I've also put it in the bottom of the agenda slide, but that's all we know for now. We are waiting on the budget approval. And the bottom two, the new use cases in the Wikipedia update, we just added that from our conversation today. So these are kind of what we are working on in the outreach committee in the near future. Okay. All right, so we have a good amount of, we have a Mike Marcel and Sal and Rian all at KubeCon this week, and Leo kindly joined the call when everyone else didn't. But we have a CCC booth has a tons of activities, and I believe Jen also is at the KubeCon, and she has published some of the social posts as well to promote CCC activities. But we have Cube Crawl, I think that's happening tonight with the bingo engagement, as well as the scavenger hunt that will run for entire 3 days. We have mini sessions and demos at our booth. We are promoting other member speaking sessions at the conference. And another thing that I briefly mentioned last time, but we are recording a video, like 30-second quick video of members who are going to be on site at KubeCon to talk about what is CCC and why people should care, and why people or how can people be involved if they're interested. in the projects and what type of work that we do in different areas and tech and stuff like that. So that's happening at KubeCon. And it was very last minute and random idea, just from looking at our YouTube channel, and we didn't have this like sizzle like intro video on our page. So this idea stemmed from that. But hopefully we can capture a lot of videos from today or KubeCon in any near future events, so that we can update the YouTube channel sizzle video as we grow bigger and bigger. Okay. And next, okay, FOSDEM, Ilaria, you waited a long time.
Yes, so I have to admit I am a bit unprepared for this, but I will try my best. So the update is, as far as I know, the proposal for the dev room has been sent. Now we wait. I guess, honestly, I'm not entirely sure we're going to get 2 days because I expect a lot of open source organizations to request a booth, but well, let's see, fingers crossed. The call for papers for the dead room is open. The deadline is 1st of December, so there is still a lot of time. Please help us share it. Please send this to your coworkers, to people you know, share it on social media, because we need to have the maximum outreach that we can have. About the social event, the social event is almost confirmed. We have venues in mind, and we are discussing the final details and picking the last details, such as the catering, the drink selection and such. We are planning for around 80 people. We are going to stay well within budget, and we need to figure out how exactly to invite people, handle invitations and such. So my general idea was to, of course, involve our speakers, involve the workers. On top of that, there is also this attestation dev room that has been announced. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but there will be another dev room about confidential computing that's going to be related to attestation topics. So I think involving them for the social event is going to be a good idea for networking, to keep good relationship and such. So if we count the total speakers and plus ones between the two dev rooms, we should reach around 40 people. And this is basically half capacity. For the second half, there is a FOSDEM official page in the website where we can advertise our events. So it makes sense also to advertise it there. But I would not just randomly invite people. I would think about how to make a form. For example, I was thinking we can ask people that if they want to register, maybe they can tell us a few sentences about why they're interested in confidential computing and so on. So I would open it to anyone, but I would confirm the registrations by hand, if that makes any sense. But this is just an initial idea. This is just us brainstorming, and in a couple of weeks we're probably gonna have a venue that is confirmed and some process to invite people. So that's all.
Yeah, we can definitely help you with the registration. I think I helped Fritz with registration last year. So we can incorporate what you were mentioning, because last year we did open up to everybody, meaning we only shared it to the people that we know we were going to invite. But if we're opening up to like a putting on the main page on the FOSDEM website and things like that, we probably want to do the approval system. So we can work that out with you. My quick question is when is the social hour fit in? Like, is it before or is it after, or is it on the day of? First day
You're
or
talking
second?
about no, so FOSDEM is running Saturday and Sunday. Our dev room, if I recall correctly, should be on Saturday, but please don't quote me on that. The event is going to happen Saturday evening.
Okay.
So because Friday is not really a good idea, because on Friday there is a FOSDEM unofficial event.
Yep.
And Saturday is usually dev room specific event, and everybody's
Great.
here. And Sunday everybody's leaving. So we don't
Yep.
really have a lot of room, but we are honestly well within time. We have so many options for the venues, so
Mhm.
it was good timing.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, last year was day after, so it kind of wasn't on the falling on the same day and whatnot. So this is sounds really great. Is it the venue where Google is having their big event? Is it the
We
same
are
venue?
still,
I overheard.
yeah, we're still thinking about it. I personally do not lean towards this specific venue because it's a pub, first of all, and second of all, we were aiming for an entirely vegetarian menu, and I'm not sure that this pub has enough catering options for us. So
Okay,
I would lean towards hotels because for the same budget or even less budget, we can get a much nicer venue. But still, this is still up to internal discussions. If you want to be kept in the loop, I can definitely keep you in the loop. So yeah, we're basically narrowing it down to the final choice of the venue. So I'm currently requesting
got it.
invoices and finally connect catering options and so on. So personally, I would say no, but it's not set in stone.
Yep, I leave it up to you guys. Just let us know. You'll have a better idea by next call, I think, in a month. So
All
we'll
right.
just hear. Okay, thank you so much. Um, I'm just kind of moving really fast because we did spend quite a bit time. So OC3 also has the call for proposal open. I'm sure you all are sharing with your colleagues at your companies, but this one is open until December 13. As a CCC, we are a silver sponsor. We will have a 15-minute talk, and like I said, we will have a booth stand on site. So anyone who is local or has ability to travel there, we would love to have you there as well. Then next. RSAC. So as soon as we are our contract is signed, so there was some delay happen, but we are a associate partner, and that means we are given an opportunity to contribute a blog article to publish on their website. So last year we have contributed by Mike Purcell, and you can click on the link here to read on what we have submitted. But I thought I would just kind of open it up to the group here for, what type of topic do we want to cover? And it doesn't have to be Mike Purcell again. It can be any of the member companies could be the author, and of course collaboration with other members, but just kind of throwing it out there just so that you have in mind. As soon as we have the contract signed, this will be given to us, and then we will have to work on this. So just as a heads up.
I nominate anyone working on confidential AI or confidential containers.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
the
Ugh.
two of the hottest topics.
Okay.
Actually, we just submitted something to Red Hat around confidential containers, so I could possibly reuse that same abstract.
I can see definitely we can incorporate some of those. Okay. We'll bring in more update, but just keep thinking, and I added the Confidential AI conflict container into the topic in the agenda so that we can track. So yeah, that's coming up.
Sorry, Kate.
Like
Sorry. The previous slide, if you don't mind,
yeah, previous slide.
yeah, is Ron still on the panel? Obviously, just
Right. He might not. And we can check with Mike on this panel.
sure. Yeah.
But we are still waiting on the CFP acceptance. It's not going to be announced until early Q1 next year. And as y'all heard from me many times, we have doubled the size of the booth, and we will have a dedicated demo zone. And I'm really curious to see how our KubeCon activation goes, because we can leverage a lot of the activities that we have done at KubeCon and do it in a way at the RSA as well. So that's something that I'm very excited about. So more to come. So moving on to the next slide, actually. So the OSFF is Open Source Financial Forum, and this is the event that they do under the FINOS. And the reason why we did not pursue the co-host for CC Summit is because we want to leverage other opportunities to, you know, spread our investment. And because this event targets financial services specifically, and it has, you know, different region or different city that they're serving. So CC Summit is in San Francisco. This one is going to be in New York and in the Q3 or beginning of Q4. So I felt like this was very well fitting into our roadmap, and I did bring this up to the governing board, and then we've got pretty good support from them as well. And I'm starting to have a conversation about the sponsorship and involvement. So here, because OSFF is Linux Foundation event, luckily, so we can opt in to be the track lead. So we can run our own track. As you can see, the leader track is 60K investment, which is super affordable compared to other events. But we can also do contributor track to do the half day or half track of the track and with the 40K. And then perhaps we do side event there, since we might not get a lot of people into our track, but we might be able to invite many other people into different social event, things like that. So we can brainstorm on this, but this is something that we are going to be pursuing. Okay, and last but not least, I am thinking to just wrap up one more newsletter for the year end. And I have been including some of the community blogs wherever I see on LinkedIn that I want to include it in our newsletter. But if there is anything that you want to include in our CCC newsletter, please email it directly to me and I'll include them in the year-end newsletter. And that's it from me. Any opens, question, comments? If not, we'll end it here. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thanks,